Sweetheart, listen, if you've changed your mind, that's fine, but I've already paid. I'm not cold as what? I've already paid. Someday I'll pay. Have you been listening? I've already paid. But I love you, and I have no, I don't have an evil bone in my body. I understand. Right on. Yeah, this audio works really well. So I'm getting rid of this, which well, we will, I won't complain. I'm extremely thankful and happy. And I've been praying, fasting, praying for you, Millie, Tori, Gavin, all of you down there when you're there. I said, hey, I didn't necessarily want you to go, but the Lord told me they'll be protected. So win, lose, or draw, it doesn't matter. Please understand, my heart is in the right spot, and no matter what, I'm going to. Well, you know, how could I not support you? So I will continue to. There's a lot of amazing things that are happening, and I haven't forgot Deborah. I haven't forgotten. I haven't forgotten about Brandy and her 9-year-old son, and I pray for a lot of people. I just, like I said, I've got so many people to thank, but I am absolutely thankful. I had a really good call today with a doctor who was actually a friend of mine. Now he's really. It's nice to hear people when they're happy for you. People that otherwise would maybe be concerned. So, and I love you, Lionel and Lynn. Oh gosh, I wish in one hand, and I'm having a hard time there. It's making it difficult to navigate this. And then plus, I don't. If it wasn't for my son, praise the good Lord. If it wasn't for him, I wouldn't, because there's some strange brew. And he's like, yeah, we're gonna just work around that. So now we got another thing wrong. I almost had to resort to a phone, but it's all good. All is well. So, and thank you, Casey. And sometimes when I do, I notice they're really ramping up my voice activated dictator on my phone, which they like to disable as much as possible, even if it doesn't take them too long to zero in on that. And then that way I'm not able to just speak off the cuff. They don't want that at all. They don't want that. And once I started to realize that, and then like a few nights ago, it really started hitting. Like their New Year's, really, it just really started to really thicken. So, but yeah, Kenny, and I got you, Kenny. I know, I've been there. They were doing that same stuff, and I'll probably pick up where I left off there in Kitty Litter, Tacoma. I took the crack express back from Chicago through Bangor. I liked Michigan. I thought it was cool. One thing I've noticed about Michigan, what I noticed also in Chicago, I never had any problem with any of the blacks there. None at all. I've had more issues with some of my own, well, not direct friends, but people that once that crack hit the street on the streets, just running off with your money, than I ever did there. And that's why I use that illustration, not to glorify drugs at all, but the fact that something so really destructive could be handled in a way that is serving no, how twisted it might seem, a purpose, and a purpose that has some honorability. behind it. So I don't know. It just kind of blew me away, and that's why I use that train wreck layover in Chicago. And I hear a lot of stuff, about all the shootings and stuff. It's just a shame that would be going on. Beloved people, all of us people that are just wanting to get by. Shit, I'll eat ramen noodles for a while. I'll feed people steak. I'm not beyond that. If you've done any length of time, and my son said, "Yeah, Dad, if you just Google it," which I haven't. He goes, "You just Google it," and there, it's an ongoing, it's a joke about the top ramen, and that's how you'll know if somebody's been in prison, and how many things they put or how they prepare their ramen. It's funny, kind of in a sad kind of way. Just like the poor bastard that gets the $1,000 fine that doesn't even get to hang around. Bookings got him out before lunch. But I digress because, like I said, I've got so many beautiful testimonies of officers and family that in my great grandfather was one of the first. I don't know where that picture of that little Keystone cop, one of the first cops in King County in Seattle. Well, that's what I was told. I just go by what they tell me. Like I said, I think if I heard it correctly, the gangs got him. They actually, I think they hung him. They hung him off a light post or something like that. That might be just, maybe that's just something I might have made that up along the way. The light post thing. But I don't know. Somewhere I just felt like I've heard that. But then again, just for the record, I don't know. But I've never Googled or tried to look into it. I just know for a fact that Bud, my grandfather Roy, his dad was definitely the. Yeah, Kenny, I've had all that. They were doing that same stuff, bro. Just let it go. Give it to the good Lord. He's got a yoke that is so light when you give him your burden, brother. Oh, it's awesome. Oh. And I don't mean to not pay attention to you guys. It's just it's kind of the sun's kind of poking through the clouds a little bit. It's a beautiful day in the neighborhood. And I've just been praying and for everybody there in DC and everybody else on the face of this beautiful God-given green earth. Let's see. Let me grab this paper. See if I can jog my memory on. Well, then I guess I'll just get started. Oh, got good news too. I was talking to my friend, the doctor guy, just not long ago, while we were trying to fix this little deal. I also got a call from an attorney that's there. Going to help me with that tort claim, get that going. So that's a blessing. Excuse me. Anyway, so I'll just go ahead and start off with I pull up in the train, and then I'll just roll right from there. Like I said, I might go back and back in time. Like I said, why would you want to? You wouldn't have to travel in time if you are just that itself. You could just incorporate what you wanted, just like you wouldn't want to. Why would you? Why would you pay for something that you already own? It doesn't make sense, but I digress. Anyway, so I pull in right past the Almond Roca deal, pretty close. Get off the train. Billy is there with her new. I think she ended up marrying him. I think it was Bill. I think there was a few different Bills, and went back to her place. She was living. She had moved to Graham from Cobble Court down there. she moved to Graham, and just right down here years ago though. So there's that. I just realized there's that circle again. So anyway, so she moves down here, get there, and I end up meeting Phaedra. She was working at Burger King down here on Meridian, South Hill, which is, probably 10, 15 miles that way. And I had met her while Forrest was just starting to date Teresa. This was before he went to, man, this was years ago. But then there she was living in the same park as Billy, my mom, who now I'm at because of the situation in Michigan. Well, I really didn't. Now it's
There we go. It's back on now.
Wow. Okay, well, you're gonna have to keep it running out there. Well, ladies and gentlemen, it would just so have it that the audio was messed with again on a completely different mic and everything. So, but that's okay. Praise the good Lord. I'm not giving up. It's like the doctor said today. That was the third time that it hung up. I said, he goes, yeah, pretty thin. It's state doctor. It's awesome. It's awesome when the Lord will use any opportunity so that he gets all the honor, glory, and praise. That's what he created us for. So that's what I intend to do. Like I said, baby, willing to sacrifice sacrifice, pay the price. Have you been paying attention? My heart is in the right spot. Now we've got audio good again. Oh, it's not going to stop this simplistic eternal timepiece. That's really it's as truth, as honest, as level as you can get. It's it's all that in a bag of whatever is in that little bag of holding. I never really got into to that that stuff back then. Forgot the name of it, but anyway, bag of holding, like a little wizardry deal. Anyway, so back to the point. I don't even know where it shut off at. So, and because I'm not going to go back and review because I'm not going to go back and review the first half of this. I'm just going to pick up where I think it left off. I might overlap, I might be, but you'll be able to, I think you'll be able to, if you just stick it out, you'll be able to make heads or tails of it, or it can be the same, two different sides of the same gold coin. Huh? Yeah, I'll hand it to you. Pardon me for a minute. Let me get this from my daughter. The Swiffer. There you go, honey. Pardon me. Got a little bit of a. So, Corona. I used to joke around when I first came out, not long, right before. But it was a big buzz right before I got out. Right before, too, huh? So let's see. Teresa Burks, somewhere there, Caroline Point, underwriter. Roy screws things up, as he does always, without the head attached to the, you know. And my probation officer says, I'm just going to pick up here. My probation officer says, "Do you see?" Because now I'm transferring out. I'm now just completely messed up this whole relationship by Steen stinking thinking of me like a dog returning to its vomit. And she says, "Okay, well, I'll get the paperwork ready." My probation officer is now having to, and I apologize to her and anybody else that has to deal with that type of psychosis, but it didn't have to be that way. So she's getting, and she says, "Now I want to make something real clear." She says, "Until this paperwork gets to where it's going, like I'm still in charge. So you're gonna check in. You're gonna call here. And do you see how I'm letting this phone ring? I'm not answering it. That's so you and I aren't getting interrupted, like all the other people that are in line that aren't going to get interrupted. That I'm telling the same thing that don't already know. You will not be able to say to me, I did try to call you, didn't answer your phone, because I don't answer my phone. What I do an hour or so before quitting time is I go through my phone calls and I promptly return the calls the next day before I start my day, and then shut the phone off and repeat. Wash, rinse, and repeat. So I said, yes, I understand. That's clear. She says, okay. So that's very important that it might seem insignificant now. So she hands me a card, but it's not. And this all takes place right down the road. But really, what took place down the road has been really making some miles. And where I was headed was never to be expected. Yeah, that's what they do. They were only cannibalizing the parts, but then that was the whole story. Because some might say, well, why would they want to do that to your? What do you have to say that they? You can't even spell, and I can't. I can't. But I don't have to. I had an editor that met him right down here at the tavern. We were both having a soda, nasty sweet soda that I used to be addicted to Pepsi. Oof, when I found out what that was, oh boy, I quit that stuff quick, and I got healed. It was the brainwashing. It's that grease, corn, and porn, or the byproduct of. So she's telling me. So now I'm on my way. I'm back at my mom's down here with where Phaedra, the girl that I met that like intersected in this dynamic, intricate spiritual mesh of eternity. So I go back to Billy's, my mom, in Graham down here years and years ago. And I I end up getting I end up talking to Tammy. What ends up happening, I end up Tammy comes back with the baby. We end up smoking crack. Said I was supposed to be the head. It's my fault. We separate. I meet Tawana, one I've been separated for years. We just work effortlessly to coexist because of and some other things, and I'm led to do. Plus, I take care of it. I do. There's things I do. I got dog for now and stuff. Just a bunch of different stuff for now, you know. But yeah, I'm just completely. She does her own thing. I don't. There's nothing there. I'm very very faithful. My future wife, very very. Uh, so I head back. I'm here now in Graham, and I meet Tawana. I meet her, and then the stuff with the crack, like I said, with the Baby Lazy and Z Dog, the the Bloods there, and I was buying my crack from Trips and Bloods, but I'd been around. I grew up right down there, and like I said, so it was not. I can intermingle with all people. I love people, and I can get pissed and do stupid. Human. Welcome to humanity. It's getting better though. Far and few today. Um, so I we're separated now. I'm with Tawana, and we decided to go to. I was going to go look for Donnie. I didn't know. I thought she had taken him back to either Ely or South Haven or Bangor, somewhere. Excuse me. And so I was going to make a road trip, but I was doing dirt. I wasn't doing right. I'm not even going to go there but I need to do a whole book on this so that people that, it takes a crook type thing so that people can watch themselves and their different things. Because I need to share certain things with people that I already know nobody else is doing that could be done if it's not being done now, that you all could be watching yourselves for, that I did as a thief. And it's not that I'm not proud of it now, because I've learned a lot. Now I'm able to love you guys because of it, and able to be molded into what I'm becoming because of that. And I didn't even realize that. But anyway, so I was just doing a lot of dirt. Matter of fact, right up here in the South Hill Mall, dirt. The security guards, and I knew they knew it, but they couldn't prove anything. But they were on me, and I'd let them know. I used to mess with them. Oh, I used to mess with the ones at Fred Meyer's all the time. Now I'm not. Now this might seem like I'm bragging, but I knew this one kid was stealing something, and I was legitimately buying something. But I knew everything that was going on. I could see everything that was going on. Well, I'm looking here. This is, and I'm not bragging. This is just a little FYI on how this works. This isn't sorcery. See, I don't. They don't scare me. You see how they don't? Come on. So I went and I stopped what I was doing. I walked right to the kid. He was a young kid. And I know now it was the Lord. I went right to him. I said, listen, I don't know what you got. I said, but you need to take it out right now and put it back, because do you see that gentleman right there? Now the gentleman, he's looking, he's looking pretty good, like he's looking at something else. But I know exactly what's going on. It's not just him. It's this other female. And actually, there was two females and one male. But the other female was on the cameras looking. She was about ready to run out wherever. They have this down. Oh, I used to school and toy these fools. I'm not even going to tell you what I did to to her bike, the dike. And no offense, but this really is a real story, and I can't make it up, but it's important. So I'm going to leave that part out. But I told him, I says, whatever it is, because this kid was a good kid. He was he was fixing to get tripped up real quick. And I wanted him to know, because he wasn't, you could tell. When I told him, when they seen all that go down, well, I ended up having to make a phone call. I think I was calling my buddy Ward, may he rest in peace, Ward Hennington. And he was going to drop me off some weed or some, a gram or something. So I just won't stroll out, just go about my own business. I'd go and pay what, and I know they're on me, but I'm just going about my business, because I've already, don't even care. But so I'm just going about my business. I go pay, and I go right to the phone, and I got my quarters, and I think it was 50 cents at the time, and I'm calling, and I'm, and the she's coming through, and she's mad. She's looking at me. She says, "You were with that. Because he must have put it back, because they couldn't get him. Now you would think they'd be happy that, well, you guys were working together." And I said, "What are you talking about?" I said, "Man, get the," and I won't tell you what I said. I said, "Man, get," and she thought she was something. Now she's done tackled some people and this and that before, but I'm telling you, she does not want to mess with me. Now I know, and I'm not bragging, and I wouldn't even have hurt her. But I have jumped up so many times and watched people slide right under me like they're just going into home base. I'll tell you a story about what happened to me right out of Ybor City in Tampa there, Mr. L. So, but I don't want to get too far ahead. So now I'm just going to go ahead and take us. Let's just. So me and Tawana, we get together, and I'll tell you what we're going to do, because I got a little off track. Remember the tavern I was mentioning that my biological dad and Vicky, it was called the Georgetown Tavern, right down from uh, the Castle Inn. Well, Tawana and I now, because Donnie, I thought, went back with his mother before I got trailed off too bad, but it's okay, because hey, I love myself enough today and who I'm becoming to love you enough to just let this flow, so that you can also do the same thing if need be, and just see, hey man, we're all on the same page, or not. Even though my delivery, like I said, my vehicle, like the Lord told me, see, son, you let him know the vehicle in which I travel might need a bit of a tune-up, but My aim is true. Just know that, people. I seen all I seen and wasn't able to weep, but they're all being caught because the little things that I'm able to weep over is to empathize so that you also know that, hey man, it's not to say look at what I've been through, because there's people who've been through way more than I have. Although child called it really don't have anything on my story. No offense, there's stories that make mine just look literally like a walk in the park Saturday. I really liked Chicago. Did you see that on the little popcorn? That guy can jam. That dude, woo wee. You see, you really know all this music I've loved. Music, like I said, I remember songs didn't even know, didn't understand. Well, anyway, so I thought he might have went back to whatchamacallit. And I was doing dirt and doing the messing around with the Crips and Bloods and all that doing, and then ended up meeting Tawana. Like I said with the story earlier, I wasn't trying to brag. It's important because she had to teach me. The Lord used that to teach me that I was desirable to women. The Bonnie thing wasn't taking, because I got some other things I'm going to talk to you about psychological warfare, that the enemy uses certain people to get in, just like that sober song. You know why I do that sober song? Because that guy's got a lot of courage. You see that? And that means a lot to me. And it's not just a slap at people that are just stupering around in their drunken idiocy. It's a song of triumph in a way. And it's a song of treachery, and it's a song of that deception, that just be aware that if it happens, don't beat yourself up so damn bad that you do not get back right back on that bike or a horse or whatever it is. Just make sure it's got a seat on it. The Lord doesn't, he loves you. He doesn't want the sodomy part of it, people. That's not where it's at. It's not going to fly. You'll see if you don't see already. Please get somebody else to wash your damn windows then, because you are. And I hate to use this illustration because I used to have a crush on her. I don't even know why. She's as white as can be. I think it was her characters, Marissa Tomei. He said, "What's all that stuff?" Yeah. He said, "What is all that?" "Oh, it's dirt." "Well, come on, you go ahead. That's right. Just say that. Say it. It's okay. That's dirt." And then what's that? What's on the? Oh yeah, that's a screen. Get somebody else to clean your windows. And if that's the issue, if it causes you to sin, gouge it out. When I said needs a little garlic, it was out of love, but maybe a slap for some that are literally not what you think. And I pray for all our leaders, despite what you think. I am not a cheerleader, and just because I don't like music you like and all the same things you like don't mean I don't love you or love them. That's your own perception. I've got my own instructions, and it has gotten me by just fine. And I love you, but I'm not going to let anybody trip me up anymore. And you can see the Lord has seen to it that because of that, He's given me more. Look, this has been a more of a journey than I ever would have expected. And I don't want to get off on that. So anyway, so Tawana and I'm just got to hair up and she's not doing any drugs. She wasn't doing any drugs. I was getting her in trouble, like I said, up there at the mall. So now, right about that time, I go down to the ice factory where one of the Schwartzes that I'm very good friends with. What some people might say, "Oh God, look the way he talks." These people are my friends. They're my family, and I'm starting to realize just how intricate they are. Yes, sometimes people get misunderstood, but not if the intent is right, then it's all good, fine and dandy. But when you come to that realization, then you try to say, okay, hey man, if this is a misunderstanding, then I want to make sure I'm understood correctly, and that's called communication, and not like Led Zeppelin, right? We aren't trying to have no breakdown, man. We're trying to communicate. Now I've been pretty patient. Now, I don't want to get off on that either, but anyway, here we go. there's Pat Brady. Come over, just the intersection there. Kathy's beloved first husband. We used to have bands down in South Park. And now here he's got out that job he's kept all them years. Would come over and have a sandwich and probably a beer. My dad said for years, the Georgetown Tavern. And go right back to the ice factory across there, right? And that's all going to intersect here pretty soon, also. But my point is, I stopped down there to see my dad, who I just started to, like I said, on and off, or just occasionally, now sometimes because my dysfunction. And I stopped in with Tawana, and matter of fact, I stopped off at Forrest's too, because um, because he was up at a little above Cedar Rapids, where that's all going to come into play. Cedar Rapids Towing, and he helped me put the speedo cable in my tranny so that I could get to Ely in Minnesota, where I thought Donnie might be. Because, like I said, there hadn't been a whole lot of time that elapsed when we separated again. When she came here, we were staying in the Holly Hotel down there in well, down here in Puyallup, just right. So we're heading over. We stop off at the tavern. I wasn't drinking or anything like that, but I had just probably woke up from I believe probably up for a week or something. I wasn't doing well. So like I said, she wasn't doing drugs. Lana and I had just gotten together, with her. I told you the story about baby lazy and all that. And I think because I don't know where it went out, and I'm not going to go back and maybe I should. I just unless I get that directive, I'm not. I'm comfortable with how I'm presenting this for now, and it'll increase as it goes, and then this is going to be a beautiful thing. Oh God, I love you, Father. Oh gosh, a new heaven, new earth, original dominion cannot beat that. Mm-mm. New. Why would you wanna? Would you wanna? It's like, why would you wanna? Now that time travel, that might have some, and I haven't got the memo on that. It's not important for me at this point. Some of you guys may already have. I don't think it has anything to do with. Nope. Well, this certainly does. If your time, why would you even have to travel? You could just incorporate is, was, and will be whenever and however you'd like. So we're heading over to whatchamacallit, and we end up going through Spokane, I think Highway 2 or 90 something up, and on our way, probably about 30. We're just coming into Virginia, and heading right up around the bend to Ely. And I was getting tired, and I wanted to. I had the hammer down, and I was coming down, and this cop was coming this way, and I could see him, but something had already told me long before he even knew I was speeding, and it was almost like, well, at least that was what I had thought. But apparently they have radar in the air also. So this something told me in my mind, okay, this, you need to pull over. And I don't even know, usually I would wait. Just like when I seen who I believed was Kent Hitchings pass me when I was coming back from Lake Bay, just whoosh, right? I knew that guy's going to pull me over, but I just kept going anyway. And he said, I had to really, because to catch up to me. Well, something told me to pull over. So I pulled over. Now he's way up. Now he's out of sight. And I just stay pulled over. I stay pulled over. This state bull, I believe it was, Virginia County, I believe it was, where I got married with Donnie's mom, Tammy. Tammy Lou Garrow, which was now Tammy Lou Steen, and she's, you know, pulls up and he goes, he says, you know why you got pulled over? And I said, well, yeah, I was speeding. He goes, well, thanks for pulling right over. That's what he said. He said, thanks for pulling right over. Do you have a license? I said, well, no, sir. He says, well, do you have any ID? And I said, here. And I gave him my ID, and I already knew. We'll see. When I left there, and me and Tawana, remember with the thing with Carl and Luthella or whatever, Tiny's, with the shit on, they had like a lot of kids and stuff, but it really rubbed me the wrong way, the way the things happened there. And I probably overreacted, but so, so I left my license in a haste, is what it was. It wasn't in good standing. So he comes back and he says, well, he goes, I got bad news for you. He says, uh, 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 and then we'll get back to the part about Teresa in Rose Hill and all that. With this is all gonna tie together. It's just that the times are, you'll see if you stick it out with me. So it's building up. It's all building up to that, because now I've gotten my, and she said, remember, leave a message, and because I don't answer my phone, that's very significant. So now I'm pulled over. The guy says, well, I got bad news. You got a suspended license, um, and all this, just your insurance, and I had everything that we owned, which wasn't a whole lot. And just meeting this girl not too long before that, her parents hating me for damn good reason. I wasn't any good. And even though she was, doing what she was doing with the sleeping around and all that, so I didn't know how damaged we both were at the time. But she was just, that's how she was acting out. That was her, her deal. And that's why I would never, ever exploit her that way. Just out of the, like I said, that's just absolutely, that's just like somebody that, well, anyway, I'm not going to try to, because then you're going to take it, that people take things the wrong way. And I can't help it sometimes if it's just, I don't know. Well, anyway, I'm my heart's in the right spot. So the guy, now the tow truck is pulling up. I'm in front now. Tawana, she's losing it. She is losing it. Now this isn't the first time I'm going to see this, but this is the first time at this point I have ever witnessed this, and she's lost. She's losing it. I had found a little turtle that almost got ran over, and I had it in the car, and I'm looking in the back. I'm handcuffed, and I'm watching. He says, okay, take everything you want out, and so she's taking everything. She's crying because I'm going to jail. She's never been to Minnesota. She's way up here, man. She's never been out of Washington. I don't think she's been out of King, or I think maybe 2 counties at that point. And so her whole world is coming unglued, coming apart, I'm sure. And well, you can see it. And plus, I'm sure that had a little bit to do with, just the way she was processing things. So she was really, really losing it. And I'm getting pissed. And I had been doing crank and stuff, so I really didn't have the best of attitude. But something came over me, and I know now it must have been, I don't know how, but again, I don't have to have all the answers. The Lord, uses us in some. Thank you, Father. Um, Something came over me, and I just said, hey, listen. I said, look, I came here to try to look for my son. I know I am not, and I don't know exactly what I said, because I didn't have a script, and I'm not really. The Lord, you gave me the gift to articulate and form sentences enough so that I can somewhat try to convey a message here, people. It's a message of love, even though it may not sound that way. Please. So I said, look, and it just came out, and right, and I just now the car's, it's being pulled on this flatbed now, and she's just she's just back there. She's crying. She's crying. I'm the car is now being because it was a nightmare. It was a nightmare. I'd seen her put the little turtle down, and I mean, she'll, of course, you already know. I might get confused with some stuff like what might seem like a lie, like when I said you don't, you're not up late at night. In when you're in the penitentiary, those people need. Well, believe me, when it comes Friday or Saturday, no one has to go to work. Well, then nobody's getting their chops busted because they're like, hey, noise check. That's when this stuff comes alive. But anyway, that's why you get your tattoos at certain times of the week, like Friday. So anyway, I just lay, and it was sounding so good. I honestly, I'm going to tell you right now, I couldn't believe it. It was coming out. I couldn't believe how it was coming out. I was like, oh my goodness. And it obviously wasn't mattering, but the way it was coming out, and I think I even started to well up just a little bit, but I didn't want him to see me cry, right? But I needed to, because I was still extreme. I had so much pain, and I wanted to change. I didn't know how, but I was harboring so much trauma and so much anger and pain and just misguided ways, uh, pun intended. So he just stops. This beloved officer, whom I pray for all of them, no matter what I might, and when I get a little heated, he says, and I'm serious. It was, and I'm starting to get to see. I'm starting to recognize this. And he just stopped. He looks at me like that, and I'm like this. And 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 I come here to try to this and that and the other, and I love it here, and I fish. And he knew he could feel my passion because the fishing. Oh my goodness, it was so amazing. Like I said, when you hook one of them huge northern pike or uh, uh, walleye or those crappie and bluegill were slabs. It was amazing. It was amazing. He knew, and you could see it when you're casting out in a certain area. Oh, it's so beautiful out there, so quiet. You might hear a loon now and again, and you can just see that. Oh, bam! Oh, I just love it. I loved it so much. I told you, me and Ty, we dumped the canoe. Dumped that canoe, man. We put it back. They knew we were using it. I bet they were up there. They were fishing themselves. They weren't just taking studies because it was never chained up or anything like. They didn't have to. People, they police themselves. It was always put back. Even they said that. They said, yeah, they Pete. Oh, Pete. I love the way he smelled. He always was. I always seen him on the road. It was the looking back now. I already know what was up with Pete. I already know. I already know Pete was an angel. He smelled so good. He's an old hippie. He was an old Aborigine. He took me up there. He got me. Anyway, I'm getting off track. Beautiful, beautiful place to go fish. So he could feel that in me. He could feel that I was being honest, but yet he was seeing something else, a very, very contrary record. He was seeing something different, but he was witnessing something else, just like what they were witnessing at Larch Mountain there. When the old Machete Mike from Austin and my brother and all these other, now that was witnessing something they wanted to exploit, before I, come on, man, wait till I get to that chapter. He said, you're not going to jail. I went, huh? He goes, you're not going to jail, not today. Just not long before then, year or so before then, or two or whatever, she was still pregnant in Duluth, saying, well, you're not going to go to McDonald's today. You see that guy? Not today, you're not. Not today, Steen. At all. You can't make that up. Oh, my Ojibwe Chippewa wild rice. He said, not today. He goes, now you'll have to take care of that on your own. He gets out. He unhandcuffs me. He lets me out. Now he's telling her, calm down, and he gets in his car and he drives off. Well, he goes, and actually no, he talks to the tow truck driver. He gets in his car and he drives off. Yeah. And they wanted to pervert how I viewed law enforcement. You guys say, well, did you hear? What were you saying then yesterday? The truth. What are they afraid of? Why would you do that if you had people like me that love you as much as we do, as much as I do? You wouldn't have to be living like that. We would protect you. We'd protect each other. Don't you get it? You're being brainwashed too. I'm just done. And so I went to him, to the window. Why, this cop, he drives off, this beloved angel. It's beautiful, beautiful soldier for Christ. And he says, all right, man, you owe me $40 and I'll let your car down. That's exactly what he said, just like that. I gave him all I had. I had $10 left. I had just enough to get to Ely. Well, Donnie wasn't there, and I went and stayed with Tiny, my fishing friend. Things were still a lot different. She had some other guy living there. She still hadn't got the kids back. She was still delivering papers. Just the hardest working woman I've ever met. She was so neat, young, and Carl knocked her up, gave her 6 kids, and was molesting them all. Got them all taken from her. She wasn't into all that. I stayed with her. I knew her. She was my friend. She is my friend. My little Finland town. Nobody ever locked the doors, and I never violated that, even though I was a puke. There was things I just wouldn't do, and I won't do. And now, far and few, today, far and few, death, where is your sting? So, yeah, this audio now, he's got it. Oh man, thank the good Lord for my son, whom I was going to look for. And I didn't even mean for that to happen, just because I'm noticing how good the audio is now. Again, after all the different stuff, you're not going to believe he just had the different equipment and everything that they. Oh yeah, that's love. That's love. And love will find a way. It's not giving up. It's not giving up that easy. So he drives off, and I give the guy, I have $10. I get just enough to get there. Donnie's not there, and they know I'm back in town. They all in Ely. It's small. You guys, that have already Googled Earth it. Those beautiful photos. You can see it's just and it's probably grown quite a bit since then. But my citation, it was still sitting in Betty's yard when I got home. It didn't take much. It fired right up, that old Chevy. Same little thing Peter Tallhofer drove. Old Pete, the Aboriginal. It's just, you can't even, this stuff, it's just, the Lord, he giggles. He created us in his own image. He's so much more like he wants us to be, and we're becoming, than you. Well, we're all going to know. See, that's the beautiful thing. And I know but you need to know this. We're all going to meet. It's all good. Meet and greet. It's all good. We're going to a banquet feast, baby. Eternity. Then it's going to be like kind of like the Kelchers. That's just kind of how I seen it. It's just without really, you know. And then these last few days, the last few days since New Year's and that battle in LA, it was a battle on the whole face of it. But on this western seaboard here, just on the western side here, it's quite a battle. And it was extremely fulfilling to see so much power in its glory and precise execution and pruning. And there was no brush strokes wasted. It was just so fluent. It crashed when it needed to. it was, it was tranquil. It was just like that. It was beautiful. It was just almost like the song from Crystal from Fleetwood Mac. But so he lets us go, and we're on our way back home now, going down the same exact road that this guy pulled me over, and I'm thinking, man, this guy lets us go over here, and now I'm going exactly right at the same spot that I lost sight of him, that I knew he was going to turn. Something told me long before he got help. He let me know he got, and so I that kind of helped me out too. But so we're heading back, and we get to Washington. Before we get all the way in, I pick up this old fella. He's looks like Gandalf the Grey, and I had just been drinking. I'd been drinking some moonshine. Yeah, driving and drinking and driving. I think I would learn my lesson from Fred, my best friend, that had a few beers. And well, really, what happened is, and like I said, he actually backed his, and I know he would put a few back, but he was a good man. He wasn't a lush drunk like that. But I'm pretty sure he might have had a beer. But when he backed into that motorcycle, and it wasn't even that exact. It was the pride and ego, and it got him beat enough to have his eyes swelled shut. But yeah, you would think I would still, but drinking, I was fast. I was I'd only had moonshine once before, and it was called Clear Spring from California. This little girlfriend of mine, her dad would come up. He had I was fascinated. You could light it on fire, and years later, we were using it to base coke, hemostats and stuff, just madness. So I'm drunk on moonshine. I pick up this guy. I'm pretty sure he's an angel. Now I'm absolutely sure he wasn't. He helped us get to a certain point. But I was driving, and even she would say, "Man, no, you really, honestly, you." And I know she shouldn't have been encouraging me, but the fact is, I probably was so far. And I'm not encouraging anybody to do this, but I was so, because I was starting to drink, a little bit too. Tiny, she was putting them back. She was starting good person, but no good mental health counseling, and all six of her kids, and she was dating some younger guy. She was young. She was young. She was neat. She was so neat. So neat. She had so much tact. I was amazed. That woman. She had a beautiful home. It was her parents. Beautiful, beautiful. Housed all of them children. Anyway, I'm getting off track, but I could just write a whole book over her. Tiny Tunes, because I just love singing songs about her in a good way. You might have it. You might. But so anyway, me and Tawana, we're back now. We're on the side of this. We're on the side of the sea. Oh no, we're at. I'm doing dirt. I'm back to doing dirt. I'm back. I'm back in Seattle again. Oh, that's right. I forgot to tell you. Now, almost once we're all, I blow up my car after we dropped the angel off, which I'm absolutely certain got me through the drunk stupor. Let him off, and I just absolutely sure that fella uh, was protecting us and her from my stupidity. I end up blowing up the car. I was racing some kid in a flatbed truck, just like Martin's before he was brutally uh, taken from us, exactly like that. And so I had a hole in my radiator hose, and I didn't know that because this car I kept it pretty well tuned up to where, and I had just gotten it not long before that. It was a good little good Le Mans. It ran pretty good, but it overheated. I wasn't paying attention, and was still a little buzzed from the night before because we were traveling. And like I said, I know that dude was an angel. I'm almost certain of it. Because when I blew up, the overheated, and I went down to the river to try to get water. These the Mormons came. This Mormon guy that had all these wives in this trailer came to pick us up. Serious. And he was my only ride. I really didn't even want to ride with me. Creeped me out. Really creeped me out. Not like the Mormons that come to Teresa's house, which crazy how this is all going to tie together, which actually made me feel really, really cool. And that's why that blood atonement and celestial sex thing that I was, because I wanted to learn about the religion before I ended up screwing up the relationship. It kind of confused me because it didn't fit with the narrative that I was seeing. And she stopped. By the way, I probably should. This is an important part. See, the Lord brought me back for a reason. A matter of fact, Teresa and the children, she stopped going to the Mormons there. There was a big temple there in Kirkland, Bellevue area. Big, right off the freeway. I remember you could see the big old gold thing. She stopped going there. And they still come around. They were real nice. That's what kind of threw me off a little bit. But she started going to another church and had me go to it. And this is going to come into play really soon. So, so, and then of course I screw up, and then I'm back to my stuff. And I couldn't accept anything good. She was literally taking completely care of me, buying me all the silk stuff, all her family, everything. She was well to do, and she wasn't. Man, what a fool! What a fool! See, here you might think, well, God, you were pretty hard on me. Listen, man, I was the biggest fool. That's why I'm able to do that with love. One of the quotes in the book, one of the deals is, look, some of you people are going to go through all kinds of ups and downs. If I'm to do any justice for you at all, it's to remain honest. And by doing that, some of you are going to get extremely upset with me. You're going to get sad. You're going to go through every emotion. Some of you are going to just say, look, that's just part of laying it out, showing off and showing. That's just the way it is. It has nothing to do with arrogance. And if it is, well, the Lord, every morning I roll right onto them because I'm on that sleeping bag right there, right there. I'd have my dog there, but he's, like I said, he's having an issue anyway. So let's see. We're now below the carp. We get the Mormons pick us up. And he's creeping us out. So I grabbed the tent that we had and a few other things. Oh, the craziest thing I grabbed was a stein. See, when I was in Mission, now this is really odd why I'm remembering this, but it's just okay. So when I was in Mission Creek, they had a ceramics class, and these older folks, and bless their heart, they would come in and donate their time and run this ceramics class. They had some kilns and stuff. They had some really neat molds. And we poured the mud or whatever they call it. I forgot what they called it. I used to know. And then and it really a lot of the kids, it helped us. Looking back now, I just remembered that room that they had, and that smell and the clay. Oh, God, now it's all just really. See, that would have creeped me out if I didn't know what I already know already. I would be bawling right now because I could, oh my God, we're the clay and he's the potter and all. But I got so much peace. And I had a stein that uh, Dutcher, his name was Dutcher, who really took a shine to me in Mission Creek. And instead of just smashing the like a lot of them do if you're not there, because a lot of some people flake out or something happens, and then they'll just take them, and then they'll whatever, and so they can make room because there's only so much room. But he took it upon himself to make sure when I went to treatment, when I got sent back from Tara, when I got, because I want girls with the, because as guys, we need them, but now when you're getting treatment, you need to. That's why I'm ready for my my relationship's coming. I worked hard. I won't be. That's why last. Oh, you think he'll yell at me? No. Look, but no matter how I present it, and I'm saying this to my future wife, baby, no matter how I present it, sometimes you're gonna get your feelings are gonna get hurt. Remember when I told you can't hurt my feelings? I don't know if you got that letter. I believe you did. I'd like to believe you got all of them. Over the course of 18 months, I think I sent, like I said, probably close to 20 or 20 or so, 18 to 20, maybe 24. Who's counting? No, it's, but there it is. He held on to that when I got sent back because of my dysfunction. He had that there. Well, that was with us. I had toted that all the way. And I could add something else about something else that was actually carved into the to that while it was still wet, a message that was carved into the, because it was a big stein, beautiful. And I did mine smoky silver, and I was doing them all. I did an eagle stein and I did a wizard stein. I spent a lot of time on them. It was really therapeutic. It was beautiful. It was awesome. Looking back now, I'd forgotten all about it because I just remembered when I was loading everything up into that guy's trailer, and that the Mormon guy that was creeping me out about all the wives. Um, I had that stein. I ended up selling both of those steins. It's amazing how I sold them because I said, no, you can just drop us off. And we ended up getting dropped off in, I think, somewhere in Montana. This is before I'm going to I had to back up a little. That's why I said once we got into Washington, I said, because I realized that I needed to go back because somebody might go, well, wait a minute, man, you didn't you have a car? So, and now so I have to do this. This will happen. This will happen, and just stick it out, and it'll tighten up if it hasn't already. It's a beautiful, really a nice journey. I would have never had the courage, the boldness to do this out of love. I am just so relaxed now. I am absolutely love coming on here now, and they know it. And they're trying to stop it. They've been trying to stop this for a long time. That's why I was getting teased when I was a little boy, and I used to sing into a tape recorder because that's all I had was a little cassette tape. Well, I had an 8-track too, and a little record player. I told you that one, right? But I would sing, and I'd get teased. Shut up, you can't sing. And I would stop. It was like Blackbird, just shut your mouth. So I says, now you can drop us off, man. And I ended up selling those steins, and I was still hung over. I remember that. I was hung over from that damn moonshine. Deservingly enough, I deserved every dang bit of it. Putting that poor girl through all that. And because her real dysfunction didn't really start coming out till, right after Sil. Or if it had, I didn't see it. She was a damn angel, and I was corrupting the poor thing. God, that's why I don't exploit her now, because after all the stuff I know she's been through. But that ain't a reason to stay with her. It's an actual reason to love her, leave her. So if that wasn't meant to be to begin with, and now you're becoming who you were created to be, then your wife is also becoming who you deserve to have, which this devil tried making you believe, and that's why she was out there dancing around in the with her brown skin shining in the sun, because of all the horrific stuff that I was going to have to endure so that we could continue to awaken souls, so we can move forward and we can continue to build this, because this is not going anywhere. They're trying, but they're not gonna. They're being destroyed. Now it's slowly starting to happen. Now we've come to that point now. So we're trying to get a few, and I know it might sound selfish, Roy, why don't you just, right? Because there's still souls to be salvaged. Otherwise, I'd be like, but either way, I'm ready. He can come at any time. He gives us the memo, it's on, Donkey Kong. So, and we're all a part of it. It's one size fits all. It doesn't matter. Remember, just don't bury your talent. Because what happens? He wants the increase. Don't you? Look, your testimony is not insignificant. He takes those words, he'll reconfigure them to the step with Millie Weaver. I knew right when I heard it, I said, yeah, you see. But that's not something people are, and especially somebody that is not really maybe used to talking about something so bold as salvation. It's standing right next to you. Well, ladies and gentlemen, she nailed that. Some might say, well, yeah, I'm right here. Now, these people, you know what these are doing to these children right now? And what we're, oh no, not for now. That's all coming to an end. Even the mocking, because now the mocking has been reversed. So that's how you know you're in the season. That's how you know the time or hour, because it's still and counting. People are still waking up. This is not a, all right, well let's see. No, that's not what this is about. The more people smile and laugh and say, God, please, if you could do that with that wretched man, maybe you could cover the stuff that I thought I was hiding. Don't carry your guilt around. Give it to him. That's not what that message was about last night, but that's how you took it. Well, then that's how it needed to be addressed. Now, what's the definition of insanity? Well, stop. I've already paid the price. Digging for gold? Didn't you hear the outhouses I was, huh? Because I enjoy doing the same thing Mr. Hall does with his beloved. Did you see how she was looking? She loves him so much, she's out there in the damn mud. That's all I just want to taste. And the Lord is going to see to it. Wait, throw it out. Don't feel bad, because I'm not. Yes, it's going to hurt a little bit, like that letter, like I told you, right back around. But I didn't mean it's not going to. When I said you can't hurt me, I didn't mean that I can't be affected or feel some kind of way, because how could you not, if I truly mean what I say, if my feelings for you are plumb true, how could I not? Yes, good point. Sharp. That's right. That's not what I meant. It's not going to cause me to go back. It's not going to hurt me that way. Meaning, don't worry about, because you might say, oh my gosh, what if this guy really is who he's, all this stuff that's been going on, who's becoming, who we're becoming. And I don't want to offend him or anything, so don't worry, that's what I meant. But we all get taken the wrong way, and see, the Lord knew my heart. And that's why we're having these conversations right now. He goes after just one. That's why I haven't promoted all this. I believe I know who my wife is. And I could be wrong because things change and time change. But I will say this, I deserve to have her, and I've worked hard. And he lets me know in a very loving, very sure, and a matter of fact, absolute way it's going to happen. Just don't go running. You'll get confirmation. I have my rounds to make. I have people that I need to see. Also, I seen a vision that incorporates not sitting on one's butt. And I'm not insinuating to anybody that's doing that. Just like I wasn't insinuating to anybody that was overweight. I said, look, you become that person in that light. There's always a match. God always has somebody. That's what he intends for your life. And right now, things are getting to that point where he doesn't want us to be alone, why they're trying to do just that. But marry if you're going to burn with desire. So you're caught not caught in bad standing. So you're in at least got yourself covered. And that's a serious thing. If nothing else, the ones that don't lead right to death. I'm telling you, that's the one that does, will, and has, was, and always will. And I'm ready. I'll marry us. I can do it. And I will. Or because you may want to have a big old thing, whatever you want, whatever my wife wants, with in reason, if as long as it doesn't go before my heavenly Father. Just like if I wasn't being very godly, well, then a lot of these women, these beloved women, they have to pick up the slack, unfortunately. But if it is led to be, the wife doesn't give up on the unbelieving husband, nor does the unbelieving husband give up on vice versa. It doesn't work that way. We're not talking about that. We're talking about two dysfunctional people that couldn't possibly. And then when you got one that is getting healthier and becoming, and then one that's not making any effort, well, then you can only stay in the mess so long before you finally realize, hey, wait a second. Whether you deserve a taste or not, if you don't do something, if you don't get up and move and do something, you're going to stay in it because you're afraid. You can sit and come up with all the reasons why you shouldn't go. See, I was busy running, uprooting my family, running around oh yeah, we're going to get to all that. On the whole countryside, man, I've been everywhere. I've been everywhere, man. It's sad, really, because there's consequences to my action. They're so good. Like I said, I can't. They said, no, you do need to take some credit. There was a Lord that loved me and loves you, and that's why we're doing what we're doing. That's why they've turned out the way they have. Because if it was up to it, I'd have been some weird mom. No, I'd have been done. They'd have had me doing some weird stuff. So now we're heading down. Now we're camping. We're camping in somewhere in Montana. It might even be Browning, which I got a friend, Tom VL, which is on the council. Then we'll get to that later. Blessing was in Echo Glen with him and with Skip Butler, my counselor, the one that was telling me about Nancy Norman, me, Rich Bocock, and all of them, the Tom VL, and all of them, Alex Jones or Alan Jones, Alex Jones, all of them, all just a big old. So he was, I think it was in Browning. I don't know, maybe not. It was in Montana. So I was hungover in the tent, sold my steins to get a few bucks for food. They had uh, three beefalo beefalo dogs, and they were red, and you can get 3 of them for $1. That was a good deal. And so we we're hitchhiking. We end up getting picked up and taken to quite a ways, actually. And then I set up a tent out in the woods. We're now starting to get closer to Washington. Get up that morning, sneak into a truck stop, take a shower, end up getting busted, have to pay the fee. Most of my money's now gone. The fees that the truckers would have to pay, which wasn't cheap. Oh, I was thinking, God, this is a great hot shower. Well, consequences to your actions. And boy, I had us both in there, boy. And so end up getting another ride into Washington, dropped off at a gas station. It's now, we're in Eastern Washington. We're in, she knows. We were just talking about that when I was over visiting my aunt. Remember that little town? Because I don't have my I just now got that they dropped that stuff, so I'm completely clean to go get. I just gotta get the funds to get my truck license and all that stuff, because my honest DS, Dean Summers, is honest and is not going to lie about the price, and so $1,500 has a nice tax on it, and so yeah, I'm good. My license, everything's the way it should have been. But yeah, I had to get a ride over there, and she was talking about, remember that? Talking about a full circle. Wasn't even trying to make you jealous, because there ain't nothing going on. So, because I'm faithful. That's why, because he says she's gonna knock your socks off. And yeah, you damn right I deserve her. You damn right. So you can try to make me feel guilty all you want. If it doesn't work out, it's not gonna matter. It's not gonna excuse me. It's not gonna help you. All it's gonna do, it's just gonna make it harder on yourself. And I'm gonna love you anyway, but no, you might get, if you go too sideways, I can't guarantee what the Lord's gonna do. I mean, you're gonna still be loved, but like I said, it might not feel too good. I don't think you've seen too much now to you just let it go and be friends. We'll still do. There ain't no. I'm not tripping, man. I'm like I said, that went grow up. That was a long time ago. Grow up. And here I was, the immature one, and I wondered where that. And I'm not gonna lie, man. I was getting sucked into to her, to Jessica. That was the only person, but I didn't even get, not like I had viewed you though. So don't ever even think that. I'm just gonna tell you were like, it's just for a second, because I didn't know. I was like, well, shit, what am I supposed to do? Excuse my language. I'm sorry. I'm not trying to do that. How long am I supposed to wait? I want an answer. Even then, back then, the Lord's like, son, I got a plan here. Just stick with it. I'm thinking, man, well, this is starting to border. I've never been like this. It's starting to borderline creepy here, real quick. I'm sure she's starting to think the same thing. I don't like what I'm feeling here. And the Lord says, bear with me, man. I'm doing something here. Jonah? Well, anyway. So we're at this gas station. I step down. I'm in the bathroom and I'm washing my face. I'm brushing my teeth and stuff. I got my duffel bag. I'm actually taking a bird bath. And Tawana's in the one still. It's a tiny little. It's a little podunk little town in Eastern Washington. I forgot the name. Like I said, she remembers, because we just went through when I was going to visit my aunt, my beautiful beloved sisters in Christ. Because I don't know their heart. That's the whole thing. Well, you sound like you're. What are you talking about? It's the intent of the heart. I've had unless I get that memo. Look, man, don't put that off on me, man. That's your own trip. I'm not even trying to go there. We'll cross that road if that ever. We're both. Everything's going to be made very clear. So I stepped down off the curb and I slid. Bam! I smacked the back of my head on this curb, and these two cowboy, let's say, uh, rough ones, they started laughing at me. They were trailering a horse trailer. They were started laughing at me. I was pissed. I got up. I didn't know what I had. I mean, what I thought it was horse crap. I thought it was fresh horse diarrhea because I thought it was theirs. I was angry and I started cussing and stuff. I went in. I had crap everywhere. My head was really hurting. I think it even might have been bleeding, but I wasn't doing so well. I seen stars on that one because it was a big pie. It was probably 2 3/4, 2.5, maybe. Yeah, probably 2.5 feet by, it was a pretty good pile. What I thought was cow or horse diarrhea. And, deep enough where when I stepped down, that curb was pretty high. When I stepped out of the bathroom, bam. Well, the laughing got me. So I ran back into the bathroom and I said, "Go, hand me my bag. I got it," So I cleaned up and stuff. And come to find out, it was the septic was bubbling up. And I was pissed. So the owner came. Come to find out, she owned the restaurant right next door, and she was trying to get us to buy a meal and this and that. See, I never go to the hospital. I wish I would have, because I would have been able to settle right there. I had to play hell to try to get money, and I never got anything for it, and I got hurt. Well, anyway, now here's where it doesn't end there. She buys us a burger and stuff. Asked if I should have had it, and was trying to keep me from going to thank you. I'm glad you're not hurt and this and that. But really, I wasn't. I was trying to be a tough guy. So I ended up hitchhiking out on her and Tuan and I, or hitchhiking after we got a nice meal she paid for. Got a meal out of it because of self-worth, though, and not going to the doctor. This guy picks us up, and he's a creepy dude. But we weren't on the road long. We were on the road maybe, I'm thinking, on the on ramp, because you can't walk down the freeway in Washington. You're not supposed to. And where are you going to go, right? Unless to a car that's ran out of gas or something. It's not very far up the way. So we're waiting, and it wasn't long, and somebody pulled over. He was creepy, and I knew something wasn't right about this. And this guy, I'm just going to tell you flat out, this guy was trying to kill us. He did. He wanted to. He was a weirdo. This guy was a murderer. He was. I don't know. I know how I know. I didn't back then how I knew, but I know now how I knew. And he kept taking us, and I told him, "Look, that's fine. I don't need to use the bathroom that bad." "Oh, no, no, I'm just going to show you." And then I finally said, "Listen, man, you need to stop. I want out right now. Me and my lady, I want out right now." And then he said, "Well, now I got to go to the bathroom, but I'm not going to stop here. And I'm not going to stop unless I'm going to use the bathroom. And I'm just going to go up here." I said, "No, buddy." Things did not go well, but that car stopped. We got out, and we had a long walk. And come to find out, man, this guy had us so far out there. Let's just say, man, the good Lord is, oh, he's so good. Oh, man, that's why I roll over on my face, prostrate in prayer and thanksgiving daily, daily, for you, for us, for this whole thing. So anyway, here I am, and we get a ride from a father that just broke his kid out of a group home, and they're giggling and laughing, going, "God, I hope we don't get pulled over," because they're looking for him. Come to find out, because he's like The courts took him. He lives in Oregon. So he told us, if you want to ride, and they weren't telling us right away, but I knew something was going on. And then finally, when the dad knew we were cool, he said, listen, I got to tell you something, man. And you can get out right here, but I'm going to tell you right now, that's going to make me nervous, but I'll do it anyway. I just stole my son from, they took him from me, and they shipped him over here to this place, and they're not, and I said, and I looked right at him, I said, buddy, I said, oh, if you only knew who you picked up. He goes, oh, I have an idea. And I said, yeah. And he said, enough said. I said, enough said. I said, that's it. I said, he's my nephew or whatever. And he said, whoa, man, really? Whatever, we'll just figure it out. He said, yep. All right, so he says, now you're going to Washington, but if you want to do this, I'll get you, but we're going here. And I think it might have been Salem. I had to go all the way on the other side of the river if I wanted to ride with him, but it was a guaranteed ride on that side closer, because I knew once I got close to I-5, it was just even if it was down in Oregon, at least I knew I got a ride, and I got a ride right now, and I was off the road with this freak that was, and plus this guy. Here's how cool these cops are in Oregon. I never had a problem with a cop in Oregon. And I've done dirt when I was moving medical marijuana up I-5. They would say, "Oh, we got him there. We got him there, sir." But yet you won't let people here pull out money with a debit card at your highly taxed Washington State dope racketeering, extortion type. Oh, you can just go on and on. And he didn't even use that right. Well, it doesn't matter. So you won't even let, because there's no paper trail, because it's not federally governed. But they'll take cash. They're getting their little. They're all. You know what they're doing, but it's all coming down. It's all coming down, cold as ice. Oh, baby, if you took it that way, then I can't help how you feel. I don't want you to feel that way. I didn't want to feel certain ways, but I felt that way. I was trying to get out from under all of them. Psychosis, yes. They need to write their own prescriptions. So this guy gives us a ride all the way down there, and he has a nice piece of property, and I kind of can see maybe why the state would have gotten involved, but not to the point where maybe they said the things that did need to take place that were supposedly taking place. But like I said, case by case basis. So we got the heck out of there that next morning after we went and slept in a trailer, one of many, on the bunch of different stuff on the property there. And I just said in the morning, before while everybody was still sleeping, and I got on the on ramp, and this lady and her two daughters picked us up, took us way up I-5, and then actually invited us in their home. We slept right on the. Bless their heart. You can't all don't women make sure these days, and I'm not trying to keep you from doing it, but just be cautious and pray. But they knew, and we were fine, and then they gave us, then actually fed us, and then took us out to the freeway again. I think she even gave us $20 or something. And then I ended up getting a ride from a guy that was tweaked out of his mind. He thought his wife was cheating on her, and she may have been. She was a school teacher, and he had said, if you want to ride from me all the way, I'll take you all the way home, all the way up to Tacoma. And or wherever you're going, which Tawana's, like I said, lived right there at Stanley Seaford, off of right down the road from Puget Sound, where I'd met Teresa, where all this is going to tie together, which is kind of odd again. How Teresa was just like, she just seemed too high end to be at such a low end treatment facility. But what do I know? So he takes us to. He can tell he's on something, and I'm now I'm off the meth, and I'm just the drinking now. I'm just self medicating. So I'm feeling bad for this guy. Because I know what he's going through. I know the psychosis of having sleep deprivation, and so he says, "Look, I'm going to go talk to my wife right now, and let her know I'm going to give you. I just something's telling me to give you a ride all the way." And I thought, okay, here's one of these dang weirdos again, man. Are they trying? Is he going to go try to And no, he said he had a good feeling about us, and he wanted to give us a ride. Bless his heart. I could clearly see he was going through it. His eyes were pegged. I really felt bad for this guy. That's why I know now, why I was empathizing. It's like I'm able to literally feel someone's pain. It's the craziest thing, people. It's the craziest thing. It's like the past, present, and future all becoming one. It's really quite amazing. It really is. It's for me. I know we have a heavenly creator that loves us so much, and he puts in certain roles who he chooses. And I know sometimes he might not like or understand it, but man, you have to know, yourself that you're in the right standing. As long as you're in right standing, you can't be held accountable for someone else. And don't take everything personal. Some people, they claim, they've been around the world and they haven't even left the front yard. What do you know? That you've seen it before? It happens all the time. What have you seen? Haven't you been paying attention? I'm not trying to dismiss your life or what you've been through, but for the love of truth, pay attention. Whether we unite or not that way, pay attention. And we have to humble ourselves sometimes. Well, that's not what it seemed. Well, sorry, that's not what it seemed like to you. And then I'm not sorry in some ways. No, Pee Wee Herman. I did like Cheech and Chong. I really did enjoy that. And I know that was a sick, twisted joke about the Fifi deal, but just twisted talent. I know I got to clean up my act. I haven't been involved in stuff like that so long. It's just because I know better. Anyway, so now we're on our way up to Washington. This guy's telling me all his, he says, and I just said, wow, man. I said, I don't, he goes, what do you think? I said, well, because I've been through everything you're going through and high like you are right now. I told him, I said, with all due respect, he goes, yeah, he wasn't trying to hide it. You can see it. It's coming right out of him, greased out right out of him. And it's probably my aunt's stuff. She was probably doing our dope. But no. Oh, wait. See, I'll see if that had ended by then. Had that ended by then? Because had the DEA, had that ended by then? Oh, wait till I get to the part about the great lengths they went through to try to shut this one down. But they couldn't, so they ended up coming going, hey, man, would you, and then that's what happened. Okay. Never picked that one up again. You know when to stop. They want to be the big drug dealer on the block. Let them have it. And that's really what it was all about. And I mean great lengths. Set up a pawn shop, a fake this and that to try to get stolen stuff, to get this, shooting dope, agents, quote, and putting them through treatment. They don't give a shit. Just to get you from stop cooking dope so they can get, have their stuff at top dollar. Anyway, I digress. So, that's all it really. Uh, so he's just spilling his guts, and I'm knowing what he's going through and stuff. And I said, listen, I'm going to tell you this right now. What you're thinking, because I know your heart's hurt and you don't know if your wife, but it's not helping that you're on dope. Okay. Well, I could show you. I showed you right there when we stopped by Mass because he had to pick something up and he was paranoid, making sure that yeah. He said, see, he stands right here. He talks to her through our window right here. He was showing me. He was trying to show me that he wasn't crazy and that this was really happening. And it hurt. It really did. It hurts more now than it did then. And I said, yeah, I see the footprints. And I did, but it could have been, and they were huge. You could tell in the beauty park and stuff, but who knows how they got there? Could have been a number of things. I mean, it did seem maybe a little suspicious, but he's already deprived his mind of any good REM sleep. He's already delusional, probably dehydrated, and certainly don't have any nutrients in him. So, no, possibly you really are seeing stuff. My aunt, if we hung around my aunt's for more than a day and we were doing dope and everybody was doing dope there, you had to eat and you had to be drinking something at all times and not alcohol. And you weren't shooting dope in that house. That was a rule because nobody, and you would only stay up so many days because she wasn't putting up with that. I know it sounds twisted, but so I said, look, it possibly could be happening, but here's what you do. Give her and yourself a chance because it sounds like you really love her and she loves you. Yes. And she's a school teacher. I think she worked at I think a Catholic school because it was a weekday. Bless their heart. No matter if I agree with all and its son, this and that, it doesn't matter. I don't know their heart. The last minute, who knows? They could be crying out right now. Come out of her. Who am I? We love them all. I was part of that too, and that's what that's got me into accepting some of that stuff. Like, wow, well, wait a minute. My brother used to go to St. Bernadette's and Holy Family. They were trying to get us, the Schwartz family. They were all Catholics. And I've seen it. All my family. So I know I can't. It's not like something I love them all, man. Dude, people are people are going to be held accountable for the contrite of their heart. And if God sees to it that yours is in right standing, no matter what you do, who am I to say at this point? That's not my deal. Thank God at this point, because I'm just not ready for that yet. We're all part of this. We're going to be judging the fallen. If you're on to what's been going on, whether we agree completely 100% or not, we're all on that same page. We're going to be casting out the fallen, the demons. It's those that housed them that our heavenly's gonna. That's why we're not to judge people, because they change like that. They could say, "Oh God, please," and really mean it. And I'm not talking lip service like I've done many, many, many times. Not in a long time, thanks the good Lord. My head would just spontaneously combust right in front of you people, so you could see this is what happens when you mock me, and I allow you all this glorious authority and beautiful display of order, not disorder, like Pantera. But see, I don't mind listening to that, but if once it gets you that, I have to say, wow, wait a minute, this is driving me somewhere I can't be. It's not a good, happy place. We're not Happy Gilmore anymore. Well, you didn't seem like you were Happy Gilmore yesterday. No, it's okay to be angry. It's what you do with it. I know it might seem like just like the guy that was tweaking. He may really, if his wife, maybe he wasn't, maybe something was going on and he wasn't able to, and she felt like the only other way to, and I'm not saying it's right, because I would not want to be caught with my, and then maybe it wasn't happening at all. So to be fair to her and himself, I told him, why don't you stay off the dope? It might be nice that you got off it all the way, but just give yourself a chance. You don't have to. Don't go too far ahead, because I know what it is to start making promises when we don't have the capability to fulfill them. That's when you start letting people down. That's why we don't put our faith in people. Faith. We put our faith in God. We put our trust in godly people, but that trust is earned. So why don't you go ahead and do yourself, get some respect, yourself and your wife, to stop doing the stuff. Give yourself a week. Stop doing it. Get a good 7 days of good sleep. And then you ask yourself if you really believe that that's going on. And you let her know, I'm sorry that I'm, but I love you enough. If this is what's going on, I don't like it, but I love you enough to leave it. If you love me enough, leave it. Let's see. I want to see how that comes out here. You might want out, Bubba. So leave it enough. And if you really feel you must, go back to it. And here I am telling him this in my own self. I'm like a dog about ready to go back to his vomit. Here's the plank calling the speck. Oh, that's plum right there. Oh, that's true. There you go. That'll go ahead. Nail it down, Mac. Nail it down. I got a story to tell you about. Lay it down, Mort Norton. I already did, but about Mac. My little Mac. You're gonna. This is beautiful, but I won't get too off track about Mac right now. So up, he gives us a ride the whole way. There was a lesson to be learned. I took quite a bit away from it. I often thought about that fella, and I was concerned about the state of his marriage because of the condition of his spirit, and I didn't even realize it. Yeah, we got home and ended up at the Schwartz's house. Like I was saying, now we're back to Schwartz, in and out of my life, and it was Carol. Carol happened to be dating Jim at the time, and me and Tawana, we started staying there. We started hanging out, living, and me doing dope. It's back to meth and smoking coke with because me and Carol, we used to base coke because she was like I said, she was Forrest is one of the prettiest girls. Well, all the Schwartz girls were pretty, but Carol was one of the prettier girls of from my standpoint. Oh, and I loved all of them, but like I said, that was just, and we would base coke. It was before crack was on the street, and so you don't have the head of our creation tightly fastened on our shoulders, instead of being so concerned with what's between these flaps, and try to read a little about what's between these flaps. Of course, here I was smoking right with her, and I was doing dirt and stuff, and Tawana was just hanging along. I think she was 19. Now maybe 19, yeah. Probably 19 now. I was about 25, maybe 26. And Liz, she was off on her own. She had her own family and stuff. Matter of fact, I think she went down to California with Tom, her new husband, whom used to be all of our. I won't say anything because I don't have permission, but he was. Let's say he was a lot of our special counsel sort. She's still down there now. She's gonna be heading back to family and stuff. Her beloved mother before she passed. God, I'm all homes. What a beautiful thing to have a mother like that. She used to work at Albertsons too, meat department. We used to talk. The one that when I did The Greatest Escape, Mrs. Schwartz. So here I am at the Schwartz's at Carol's at the time, and I actually did see Kathy. Kathy and Pat were starting to have. Pat ended up having some issues. But loved Pat. Used to. Matter of fact, my cousin Forrest used to live with Pat. Pat and him were close. Pat and Forrest, because Pat was dating Kathy, who's now it was on my Facebook for those of you that know. She's also down in Sarasota. God, I love these people. Oh gosh, there's so many neat memories that I was able to eke out with all this freak. Uh, just would you'd think would just be just misfortune. I was able to pull out some of the most neatest times with them, even though I was just sometimes just a dick shit. These people were just amazing, amazing family. The Schwartz family, just amazing. That's why it hurt me when I was writing Tommy, and this was a while back, and I remember my last message was, "Look, I know people in high places. Because I know he'd got a lot of time, and I know it might have seemed arrogant to make a bold statement like this, but I said, I know people in high places, and I can get you out of there." And they might have, and then he stopped writing me. So it may have very well been that either they didn't like that message and insinuated something that I didn't never intend, and so they shut me down, or he got angry because he still had a bunch of time left to do, and he's supposed to get wrapping it up pretty soon. So it kind of shows you it was back a little ways. And he got pissed and go, "Well, who are you to make that?" And I'm not going to listen to that, because a lot of times it's like telling somebody your release date. You don't tell somebody your release date, you don't let that just fly out of your mouth, especially around people that, aren't ever getting out, and they're sociopaths and they're date hangers. That was one of the rules. Remember Omar Hewitt, my buddy, Sioux Native. Ladio was there. They're all there. It's just a huge, big old. Some people might, well, that's a disfun. Well, it's all part of it. Whether you like it or not. I don't have to like everything you don't have to like, and you don't have to like everything I don't like. Vice versa. It doesn't have to be that way. You don't have to like me at all for our Heavenly Creator to love you. We're all in this together. Or not. Doesn't mean we have to be on the same. As long as we're on the same road, you can be ahead of me, you can be behind me. It don't matter as long as we're in the same. Don't matter. Said, don't just come. Remember, who are you to say what I'm to do with my money? I can give to who. It doesn't matter if you come late or Johnny come lately. Just like the one that buried the talent. You silly fool. And then it goes to the two that ended up doing right, and so those talents increase. So you're wondering why. Well, what's going on here with all this stuff? Well, don't you see? If you're burying your talent, well, then people that are stepping up to the plate, yeah, it's almost, and I hate to use this analogy, it's almost like a going, 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 going. It's almost like a Mario. You're just collecting coins, baby. Ding, 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 ding. We're getting it as we go. And it knows it, and it's flipping out, and you know it too. And so that don't do that. Don't send me little stuff like that. I understand. Yes, to a degree, all is fair in love and war. Don't don't be. And it works two ways. And don't just please just know that I mean well. No, it's all going to be made very clear if it hasn't already. I have to go to the bathroom, people. I'm just going to let this roll. I'll be right back. Man, still haven't shook this little bit of cold. Sorry about that, people. Grab me a little water. I'm out there. So anyway, had to let me son's dog and my butter boy out. So now we're back in Washington, and we're at Carol Schwartz's house, and things aren't doing so well there. I'm up to no good, and me and Tawana end up in a tent on the side of the Cedar River, right by Cedar Rapids Towing, because my cousin, he lives up there. He helped me with my odometer, or my speedometer and all that, and speedo cable. I had to order a cable and put it on so I wouldn't speed. And I speed and get pulled over by that awesome cop. Isn't that neat? Now this is exactly what gets all of us to back people like that. How could you go wrong with that? And even if they did have to, sometimes you got to take a little, they have a job to do. It's just unfortunate that the system it's gotten, you just fill them up now. There is no, well, we're not counselors. Well, then it's just gotten when the bad outlaws, again, I'm not going to go there because it's not, there's even point, it's pointless. It really is. At this point, people know, and then the ones that they just do what they do what they do, and you know they're either in good standing with God or not. You know that'll be it. That's the thing about time. It always tells. Always. It never fails. Time will always tell. So we're on the side of the Cedar River. She's got a, or no, yeah, we're on the side of the Cedar River now. We're not at Carol's anymore. We were that Coke. It was too much. We were a lot of arguing going on. Of course, Tawana, she wasn't doing anything. She just liked her books. She read. She loved reading books. Ended up getting a job. Now I was on Social Security. Remember, I had gotten it for a while, but I had made Billy my payee, because at this stage of the game, after getting, they did give me what was the remainder of the 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 welfare I was getting for the retro check. That's why I didn't open it up. Wasn't from the government. It was from welfare. So I thought it was just another. But and I needed to, and at that point, I bring that up because that point I needed to get a payee, and for good reason, because I wasn't responsible for my money at all. And so I decided to make my mom my payee because I didn't want to have to keep going through these payee services. And I thought, well, I'll just make Billy. This is when she was down in, I think it was Cobble Court at this time. She didn't have very far to go to work. And I think it was a condo. She owned this one. She had bought another one down the road, but I don't want to get too far ahead of myself. So she was my payee, but she wasn't giving me my money. And she was charging me, she was charging me quite I think it was $50. And I was getting like, I think 630 or something like that. And so she was playing hokey pokey with my money, and of course I didn't have any mental fortitude to stand up or even change and get me another payee at that point. So now I'm living on the side of the Cedar River, and Tawana gets a job out of necessity at Burger King, and the manager feels bad. He he's letting her take home, some food at night and stuff. And once in a while, my cousin will come down. Teresa will let him stop off on their way home, right across from Cedar Rapids Towing, where I used to stay with him when I first got out of the first time I got out of Walla Walla. When I started messing around with Tommy Schwartz, and then ended up running, and just goes around and around. So now we're at Cedar Rapids Towing. We get across the way in the woods. It's this beautiful beautiful tranquil river runs into Lake Washington, where I end up renting a house years later after that, but I don't want to get too far ahead of myself. As a matter of fact, let me go ahead and shut this back door so that dog won't will stop prancing. All right, thanks for your patience. There we go. There it is, right there. Right on. So yeah, we're on the side of the Cedar River. I'm not doing too well at all. I was not doing very, very good at all. I had just bought a little Volkswagen Rabbit and a little 4-cylinder, and this little thing lost a cylinder hole somewhere along the line, and it probably had something to do with all the octane boost that I was stealing, because by then the gas was locked up. You know something? This has already been 3 hours and 17 minutes. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to end this right now, because I don't want to make these too long. I'm going to have to start doing maybe a lot shorter segments. But right now I'm led to do these, and then people, they can break them up as they go. But if I get started into this run here now, where I have finally asked if there was a God, if he's real, to show me that my socks are fixing to, like old Pippi Longstocking, just they're going to smoke in Joe Frazier here in a minute. But if I get started, then I'm going to just continue. And I've already got, like, it was right when I was led to say that and to look down and stop, it was at 317. And I find that significant. And not all the time I'm going to get stuff right on, or even 9 10. Sometimes I'm led to just, I don't even look at the time. I just send them. I don't look at the duration of the song. The Lord says, just send this, son. And then I notice, wait, the duration of the song is real close to it correlates with the time and this. And he goes, oh, and I hear him giggle and laugh. Oh, son, you come on. And it just gets better. So anyway, I'm going to let it go. I love you guys. And I don't want to get too far, because I'm going to have this is that one top 10 of miracles, one of my top favorite so far, but we're still in revision, man. So this is who knows where it stops. Nope, nobody knows. You know, just all good. We know that because we've already gotten a taste. Satan can't do that. See, and that's what's really blowing him away and counting. So I'm going to let you go. Love you guys. And without further ado, peace out. And love you, Millie. Love you guys. No hard feelings with none of it. Please listen. Hear, at least if nothing else, just hear me when I say all is going to be well, that ends well anyway. I get it about what you say. I understand. And I know sometimes things are, and navigating this isn't always easy. Just consider things. There's a reason. Sometimes the Lord told me when I first started this years ago, don't read it. I didn't want to get involved in the computer. I didn't want to have to even be educated over the complicated. And I'm going to wrap this up. He told me, quit reading the deal. These people they know how to, and now I don't even, doesn't even bother. I only do the ones I'm led to do, and even that, I know how easy and how manipulative they can be, and how it seems like you got people that are teaming up against you and they're trolling you. But a lot of times it's the same deal. I know it's, and I know it, and I didn't even know why I was saying that. Remember when I said it's the same entity? Well, it really is. Well, yeah, they've got paid trolls. Yes, they have that too. But I didn't even know why I was led to say that, and it really is. Somehow they have, and I think it's some kind of AI or something like that. So don't. But it's all satanic. It's all still derived by the same thing. So okay, I gotta let you go, or I'm gonna sit here and just love you all forever. Which that's what's gonna happen for us winners anyway. We already won. So I'm gonna let you go, and I'm gonna try to upload this in stream.